I was rooting through all our old holiday snaps the other day when I came across one of our old Mercedes-based motorhomes on an idyllic beachside in Scotland. There was a small tent pitched outside the van, and it brought back some of those memories of the joy and the complications of travelling with young children. Bless them. They love the idea of proper camping in tents, and who were we to argue if they needed that closer communication with nature? Perhaps by now you're all wondering, where is this all heading? Well, it's all about sex. And occasionally evicting the kids from the van into a tent outside to allow all of us to have a closer contact with nature. The Clipper. It was built on a big wallowy Mercedes, came equipped with corner steadies, and whether the children ever twigged that we only used those steadies when they were in the tent, and then followed the thought of trail to its logical conclusion, we know not. They certainly haven't mentioned it, nor they ever will. For children, be they 15 or 50, cannot bear the thought, never mind voice it. You do have to wonder whether ever motor caravanners ever succumb to the temptation of the original sin while staying on campsites. And if so, do the rest of us really want to know? No, we don't. So I've come to a thought of a few do's, but mostly don'ts, of carnal relations on campsites. Perhaps MMM will one day produce a guide to successful sex on campsites. Perhaps not. The first rule of successful sex on campsites is to join the two main clubs, the Caravan and Motorhome Club, and the Camping and Caravanning Club. The second rule is never ever, under any circumstances, risk having sex on any of these sites owned or operated by those two august organizations. And if you do, then all your fellow campers will be either gathered outside your van whooping their appreciation, or hooting with derision, or you will be ostracized by the other caravanners for your disgraceful behavior. Deciding which reaction you receive, where and from, and who is left to your own judgment. If desperation sets in, then you do not even think about lowering your corner steadies in the middle of the afternoon in full view of everyone. And if you're contemplating closing all the curtains and then turning the music up very loud, you might as well run a flag up the pole proclaiming, well, we're at it in here. So why join these clubs? Well, mainly for the certified sites found within the pages of the handbooks. Many of those will be deserted, and because of that lack of potential spectators, you won't be afflicted by those feelings of guilt or exposure that can affect your personal performance. Not that all are deserted, and if you arrive to find that there are other aging athletes on site, then the thing to do is to place your camping palace a decent but not excessive distance between yourselves and your neighbors. Do not take yourselves off to the furthest corner of the field in the far distance. Not only will this be flagging your intentions, but you will for certain be parked next to the chemical disposable point. And the strange thing is that whilst there seems to be all this delicacy in the matter of love and lust on the campsites in Britain, the whole nation's of reticence and guilt seems to disappear completely in the wild camping situations abroad. And in this brave new world, we have witnessed some very courageous behavior, usually near a beach and even more usually in a small camper van with the sliding door wide open. Obviously, being British, we now avoid this type of location like the plague. Well, that's what we tell everyone. If by this time you're thinking that life of celibacy, whilst on the road, is the easiest course, well, who could blame you? But come on, rise to the challenge.